So today's video is going to be about renewable energy. Now, renewable energy is going to be just like the opposite of non-renewable energy. So in renewable energy, it's going to be a type of energy that is either always available or it's naturally replaced in a relatively short amount of time. You might remember something like fossil fuels. That was a non-renewable source of energy because it takes a very, very long time for those fossils to form again in order for us to be able to harness that energy. But renewable is going to be a type of energy source that is able to be replaced relatively quickly. So today, the goal is going to be to go through 5 different types of energy sources. So when you're taking notes today, keep in mind you're going to be taking notes on 5 different types of renewable energy sources. And for each one, you should be trying to 1, write down the definition, 2, write an example of that type of energy, and 3, draw a diagram or a sketch of that energy source that will help to reinstate or remind you of what that type of energy source is. If you want to make a table like the one over here to the right, that's a pretty good idea. If you wanted to just do bullet points, that's also fine. So as a reminder, you're going to be doing notes on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 renewable energy sources, as well as you should be trying to write down a definition, an example, and a drawing, sketch, or diagram of that type of energy source. So if you need to pause the video now in order to make your scaffolding or your structure for your notes, now it's a great time to do that. The first type of renewable energy that we're going to take a look at is something known as biomass. Now, bio means life. Mass is going to be an amount of matter. So it's going to be some sort of living type or amount of matter. And this is going to be a fuel or a substance that produces power. That's what fuel is. And it's going to be made from living things. Now, some examples here would be wood, crops, manure, and some other sorts of garbage, actually. So this is going to be a type of energy source such as burning wood can help to create energy. We can actually take sugars from crops such as corn, okay, and turn them into ethanol, which can be converted into fuel for cars. You might have heard of some types of cars being able to run off of biomass, such as using corn in order to produce energy for cars, which is a really cool concept. Being able to use biomass or living matter in order to produce energy that we can then use. The second type of energy sources are going to be known as geothermal. Geo is going to mean earth, thermal is going to mean heat. So this is going to be an intense heat that comes from the Earth's interior. So remember, in the Earth's core, it's very hot magma or this liquid rock. Okay, and as that heat warms, then it warms water on the Earth's surface. You're going to notice in this diagram over here, we have heat being pulled from the inner core of the Earth, and it actually heats up water, creating steam. That steam then produces enough power in order to turn a turbine, and then it's going to create energy through a generator, which is going to be giving us reusable energy or usable electricity. And that's going to be very similar to how fossil fuels actually produce energy, producing steam and then spinning a turbine, giving us energy through a generator. Now you'll notice here, when it comes to convection, heat is going to tend to rise, and then things that cool tend to sink back down. So in geothermal energy, as it heats up and we convert it into energy, that steam is then cooled and then put back into the ground to replace the groundwater. Because again, we just want to harness that electricity from that heated up steam, which is spinning that turbine really fast. So it allows us to harness the energy, but also to re-inject that water back into the ground where we got it from. Another type of renewable energy is going to be known as hydropower. Hydro meaning water. So this is going to be electricity produced by flowing water. Now, if you've ever seen a dam, most likely this dam is going to be used in order to produce electricity or hydropower. As water flows through a narrow tunnel of the dam, it speeds up and spins the turbine, powering a generator. You'll notice here that we've got our dam, and it starts to build up the water, and eventually they'll open up the gate, and then it's able to flow through this narrow tunnel. It spins the turbine just like a turbine that we have in so many other types of electricity. Excuse me. And Then that spinning turbine is able to power a generator, and that generator converts it into usable electrical energy. And then we usually have a reservoir on the other side, so that way we're able to actually harness that energy. Okay, similar to um, any sort of dam that you might see around. Okay, such as over in California, the Hoover Dam. This is a really popular dam. We've got what's the name of it? The Three Gorges Dam over in China, which is one of the largest hydroelectric dams, and there's even some down in the Amazon rainforest. Kind of controversial topic, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, hydropower is going to be using that water, the power from water, in order to create energy. Then we're going to have solar energy. And solar energy is going to be gathering energy from the sun. And it's going to do it in two different ways, either by concentrating the sunlight and heating up water to spin that turbine, or more commonly, it's going to be actually using solar cells. You're going to have these large solar fields which have solar panels with solar cells, which are able to convert the energy from the sun directly into electrical energy. We're lastly going to have wind energy, which is going to be harnessing energy from the wind, okay, or the movement of air particles across the Earth's surface. We have high concentration or a lot of air particles in one area, and then they want to move to an area with a lower concentration, which creates wind. As those air particles move and the wind is created, then it's able to spin these large turbines or these large windmills, and it's able to give off electricity through a generator. Okay, so again, that spinning of the turbine, converting it into electrical energy through a generator. And again, that wind is just constantly moving in order to spin those turbines. So again, these might all seem like excellent sources of energy for us, okay? But in our next upcoming videos, we're going to be talking about why don't we just change to renewable energy? What are some pros and cons of these renewable energy sources?